And so I read that your parents are from India, right?
Correct. Yes.
And so you were born here in the United States?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And so it was interesting how your parents came together and their ages when they got together. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So they had an arranged marriage, although it wasn't like a totally arranged marriage, because so back then it would be common, sometimes for families to arrange their kids with each other without the kids even having a say in it.
Right.
But in my parents' case, my dad really wanted to marry my mom. My mom wasn't that enthusiastic about marrying my dad,
Yeah.
but her parents and his parents made it happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I can imagine that was difficult for your mother because she was 16 years old and your father was 30 at the time.
When they first got together, I think that was when they got engaged. And then when she actually got married, I think it was either when she was 17 or 18. She didn't come to the States until she was 18.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so were they living together 13 when she was?
So she was living with her family.
Oh, I see.
And then he was living with his family. They lived in the same building, though. That's how they met.
Right.
And my dad was really attracted to my mom, so he wanted to marry her. And then my dad had come to America to get a college education, and then he came back to get my mom, and then they moved together to America.
So that's commonplace in India to arrange the marriage, right? A marriage.
It was back then. At this point, I don't know. I mean, I know it still happens, but I don't know anymore, how, what the stipulations are, and if the kids have more of a say in who they get to marry now. But I would say now, it is more common for people to get married out of willful love as opposed to being arranged, but arranged marriage does still happen.
So your mother didn't want to get with him because of age and was that like the way he looked, or what? What was her issue with it other than age? If that was an issue.
She didn't want to come to America.
Oh.
She wanted to stay in India, and my grandparents wanted her to go to America and get an American college education and everything. And so they they really liked my dad. And but my mom and my dad, definitely not the most compatible match.
That was amazing. And so while growing up, was that hard on you, knowing that, or did you know that she really didn't want to marry him when you were young, or did you find this out later?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually don't even remember when I found out about it. But what's really interesting to me, though, is that seeing the way my parents interact now, starting as an arranged marriage, it reminds me so much of so many marriages out there who get married out of love, but they still ended up the same with the woman being the one in control and kind of belittling the man, and the man being more in the backseat beta kind of guy,
Wow.
It's funny. It still turned out that way, even though there's so many marriages who get married out of love, and it still turns out that way.
Yeah.
So it seems like across the board, it's just a common pattern.
That's amazing. Yeah. And so even though they were raised traditional, very conditioned, you were not. You ended up being liberal and out of control. How did that happen?
And totally addicted to porn and everything. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I think that my mom, when my mom was growing up, she was living in a very restrictive environment, very conservative for sure, but slightly different from the conservatism that's in America. And so when she got to America, she got an American college education. Oh. And I think that she kind of opened herself up more to the idea of, being liberal and everything. She met people here who, she said that I remember she was telling me about how when she realized that it wasn't bad to be gay and everything, because my grandparents in India, they would and still a lot of my family in India does not accept being gay,
right.
But then in America here, she definitely got the American college experience, and I think kind of was very influenced and everything. And I think that, the trauma she experienced growing up, I think she kind of wanted us to not have that. So she kind of went the other extreme in the way that she taught us, you know.
It's amazing how college can screw up a person. It can really, it can change your whole life. Are you an only child?
No, I have 2 younger sisters, actually.
Oh, okay. And so I read that your mother encouraged you to be more modern in your relationship, and she encouraged you to sleep around before marriage.
Well, she doesn't believe that it's a good idea to get married to someone before having sex with them.
Really?
Because in her, yeah, I know. It's like, it's so interesting, right? And like she has, so I guess we know a lot of, I know a lot of people whose marriages have failed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it seems like in some cases, the lack of sexual chemistry can be an issue. And so my mom, I guess, felt like, you know, you don't know if you're going to have sexual chemistry with this person. So you should, you know, explore, figure out what you like, figure out what you don't like before you commit for life, you know. But now I'm on the total opposite side of that spectrum. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait until, I mean, I'm not a virgin anymore, but born again virgin. There's
right.
such a thing.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's probably not. There's probably a lot of people who wouldn't buy that, but I definitely feel a change of heart for sure. Like after listening to your videos and overcoming my porn addiction and just learning to see sex so differently, it's like once I connected the dots, I can't unsee the truth anymore. So I can't have sex until I'm married.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, when your mother said to you, you know what, daughter, if I were you, I recommend you have sex before marriage. You need to go out and test the water and see what you like. Were you surprised to hear her say that?
No, not necessarily, because all throughout my life, my mom has been very liberal minded, very much a feminist, very much in support of like birth control and abortion and all that kind of stuff. And so I think like it didn't really come as a surprise to me. And I was like that way too, being raised in the family. So it didn't even strike me as a weird thing to be given that, you know, and I think with my mom, like my mom and my dad, my dad is the only person my mom has ever been with. And I think that maybe her dissatisfaction might have been the reason why she encouraged me to go the other way.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that in an ideal situation, there would be a lot of satisfaction in waiting and not in like, you know, seeking out lots of opportunities.
That's right. And so did your father know she suggested that to you? Was he aware of that?
I don't know. I've never actually had a conversation with him about sex or anything. Right. So I think that he was kind of just always out of the loop.
Nice. When I was, well, not nice, but
yeah, I know what you. Yeah.
When I was growing up, we didn't even want our parents to know we were having sex. So not only did they not talk to us about it, we hid it from them completely because it was so, you know, it was just embarrassing. You wanted to respect your parents, and they would never bring that up to you, and it was okay to not have that kind of conversation.